Anti-corruption group calls for suspension of President Tinubu's minister, Betta Edu, over alleged procurement fraud. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. To me, see, as a president, this should be like the worst thing, that people you appointed as a minister, as minister. Let me don't say people. The person you appointed as minister is dragging your name through the mud. That is why I said and I suggested it is better the president is responsible or held accountable for his ministers. The news in detail, please. The group asked the president to also apply same disciplinary measure, suspension meted to the NSIP CEO, Mrs. Halima Chiu, on the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Mrs. Betta Edu. A public procurement advocacy group, Network for Actualization of Social Growth and Viable Development, NEFGAD, has urged President Bola Tinubu to be impartial in the face of massive corruption allegations rocking the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation and the National Social Investment Program, NSIP office. This was contained in a statement signed by the NEFGAD NEFGAD head, Mr. Akingunola Omoniyi, noted that President Tinubu had been provided with an opportunity to prove to Nigerians that he was willing to fight corruption. The group asked the president to also apply some disciplinary measure, suspension meted to the NSIP CEO, Mrs. Halima Shehu, on the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Mrs. Betta Edu. The statement read in part, the recent development in the humanitarian affairs has provided President Tinubu a golden opportunity to tell Nigerians and the whole world that he is ready and willing to tackle corruption in a fair, just and impartial manner by also applying same disciplinary measure, suspension meted to the NSIP CEO, Mrs. Halima Shehu, on the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation through a memo dated 20th December 2023 with reference number FMHAPA HQOHM S208, directed by the Accountant General of the Federation to make payment of 585,189,500 into a private UBA account 200-368-2151 belonging to one Oniyalu Bridget Mojisola. Apart from the fact that Dr. Edu and Mrs. Halima Shehu are from different geographical divide of a country, the tendency and pattern of the allegations involving the duo are too identical and should not have attracted different approaches and measures in dealing with them by the president. Directing payment of public funds into private accounts by a public officer is a serious procurement and physical malfeasance that attracts serious penalty under extant laws, regulation and rules, including the public procurement, fiscal responsibility, independent corrupt practices, and other offences, ICPC, Code of Conduct Act, and the Anti-Money Laundering, Prevention and Prohibition Act. Mr. Akigunola further stated that the minister had serious questions to answer by instructing payment of public funds into private account other than that of a legal entity, who has duly participated in a competitive selection process and or are direct beneficiaries of a conditional grant scheme in the case of vulnerable people as captured in the military's mandate. The act depicts pure nepotism, favoritism, undue advantage, conferment, and criminal diversion. He averred, hence the group implored President Bola Tinubu to direct the suspension of Dr. Betta Edu for further investigation by relevant anti-corruption agencies with immediate effect. So me also, I am supportive of it. Anything that they did to Halima, that's Halima now, the former her predecessor, they should also do it to her. No, this one is not no super story. Anything they did to that former, whatever, the former woman's boss should be done to the present boss. All right. Now, whenever I see things like that, just know the criminals are fighting her back, but she'll always prevail against them. Really? Whenever I see things like this, just know that the criminals are fighting her back. Well, this is what I'm going to say. If this is true, If this is not a terror, because it just flashed my mind that what if they even try to, drag this woman because maybe she says she no go agree. That is what came to my head. Our politicians, they do, if you go low, I go lower. Or if you don't want your name to be dragged to the mud, I will drag it. If you want to come form saying I only unite clean pass, I will drag your name through the mud. I just get that. They just reminded me now. But the thing is, if she is actually guilty of this crime, if she is investigated and found guilty, whatever the law says should happen to her, you feel free. But as far as I'm concerned, where we say maybe then find her not guilty, she should sue for defamation of character. That is my own. Expect nothing from this government when it comes to corruption. This is just the beginning. The corrupt system will never correct a process. Nigeria, my country, will celebrate corruption. A corrupt former governor was the party chairman of the ruling party right now. Abio, APC, Gandhi now. She's about to mess up big time. Such a thoughtless as her predecessor is already under fire and she wants to follow suit. Okay? Do they need to call for suspension or should she resign without being forced? They don't get shame at all. I did tell you herself, like I said, she was forced into this. Hence, she could just carry herself come out. Okay, too early to cry. Those standing on mandates hope their legs are still strong to stand well in this administration. All right. First of all, I wish to express some ray of hope in this regime for having a system of or some persons that will not told the old ways of doing anything that goes unchecked from head to toe. What is left now is for Mr. President to keep to the warning he gave his cabinet members in the inaugural retreat. All right. First of all, I wish to express some ray of hope in this regime for having a system or some person that would not toll the old ways of anything goes unchecked from head to toe. What is now left is for Mr. President to keep to the warning he gave to his cabinet members in the inaugural retreat. If she cannot resign quickly on her own, the big stick should apply without sentiment. The issue and the NYSC 7 minister can constitute a big dent to the integrity of this government if covered and unpunished. Youth and women agitation for office is suffering a huge youth and women agitation for office is suffering a huge setback. With these others, like Farouk, the disaster minister, huge kinds of work displayed even from COVID-19 days. Alright, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. So thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.